So my name is Anisara. I'm a Siamese.
My name is Netra Nityarin Suksai, and I am Malaysian Siamese, born in Penang.
I'm Senator Aknan Etuk, representing the Siamese community in Malaysia.
I prefer to go by Siamese instead of like Malaysian Siamese. I don't think it's necessary to refer to the community as the Malaysian Siamese because Siamese in itself is sufficient.
Are you proficient or fluent in the Siamese language? Do you consider yourself as proficient?
I would say like it's my mother tongue. So like there's different Siamese groups who speak different Siamese dialects. I speak Kelantanese Siamese with my mom and my siblings, but with my dad, we speak Kedahan.
I would say that I'm semi-fluent, but I cannot read and write so much. I can understand, like, I can read basic, but not like the grammar and the pronunciation.
I can't say that I'm proficient, but I can understand, I can communicate for my own survival, but not in a formal way. To speak to my colleague, to my people, to address the issues in my own way, in my own dialect, of course, I can say I'm well versed in that language.
How did you learn the Siamese language?
We are born in the Siamese village. Everybody speaks Siamese, so as others, they acquire the language from the interaction with the family and also the friends.
We learn from our parents, like it gets passed down, like it's the language that's spoken at home.
Back in my home with my parents and all that. But as I grow older, I have not much Siamese colleague or friends around me. I would have to self-taught.
Listening to radio will be the best way to learn.
It takes a lot of commitment, I believe.
4 or 5 times after we heard in different contexts, then only we know. Because there's no books, so we have to listen by the ear, learn by listening.
Do you think learning the Siamese language is important as a Siamese?
It is your language. Of course, it is important. It's part of you.
As a Siamese, as a person who are born in that community, of course they should learn their own language, how to read, how to write. I can't say it's important straight away. In depends on the context. But if you are a Siamese, I shall say that please learn the Siamese. Or as people say, hey, how come you are Siamese? You cannot speak Siamese?
You can't like separate yourself from your language, from your mother tongue, because then you're losing like a big part of yourself. It's part of your identity, right?
What do you think is the reason why more and more Siamese don't know the Siamese language?
Because we're a minority community.
Some may think that it's not really important because we live in Malaysia.
The tendency that they need the Siamese language to survive is less. We interact with our friends in the Siamese language. Then we listen to radio, and later on we watch TV, and sometimes we watch the Thai TV. So we learn in a way. Now, the young generations, they have a lot of media they can go to. They can watch all the media in other language.
We speak in Malay, we speak in English, we go to Chinese school, primary Chinese school, we learn like lots of language already.
So that's why they are not that critical to learn.
I think a lot of families nowadays, like, they choose to migrate, right? Emigrate.
Yes.
The problem is those kids in the town, there are less peer group who speak the same language as them.
You need friends to like explore different topics, to discuss different topics, and this is what we don't have growing up in the cities.
Maybe the parents think that, it wasn't that important for you to actually read and write. As long as you can speak to me and I can understand what you were saying. It's an ongoing issue, it's an emerging issue from part of our community.
We can't blame anything. We can't blame anybody. We have to blame the situation.
There's just no opportunity.
We need to have the awareness of it, on how we think our language is very important. Because if you can't speak in that language, it could be a generation of doesn't know how to speak that language.
They should value their mother tongue language. If they can learn formally, at least they learn informally.
Well, what do you think is the impact on the Malaysian Siamese community if the younger generation don't learn or master the Siamese language?
I feel like we still have like good balance of it.
Some people with children can already see that their children are picking up Thai words, instead of Siamese words. It becomes like rojak. I think if it's not practiced, then this will be like more ingrained. It will be changed. Like it won't be as it is today. Personally, I find it a bit frustrating because we are doing an effort to teach Thai, right? And we're not making any effort to like teach Siamese formally, which I think should be done.
But somehow I feel like if we doesn't like master, we don't take charge of it, who else though, right? Who else? You can't be expecting government aid to assist you in that if you doesn't learn your own language. It's an effort lah for you as a part of the community to actually learn and practice it. When we don't take charge of it, we're gonna lose it.
You need to learn your own language. If you say you are Siamese, you should be able to speak Siamese, even though it's not that fluent, but it is something.
The Ministry of Education should acknowledge that we exist. There needs to be like a wider acknowledgement so that like our communities know that we exist and like this is the language that we're speaking in. There is a need to like educate the young Siamese about our own language. Like if we teach this language and like it's not even going to be useful professionally, then what is it for and everything. Like I understand all this, but to say to yourself that it's not important, it's not as important as Thai, is just to give up on your community, and I think that's really sad.
Although probably like I don't know how to read it now, maybe I have to have an ongoing effort to do it, to practice it with my friends and my family. I have to still use the Thai word.
Because it is the language of the community, I think it is important to like teach it.
We can strengthen our language and strengthen our command in that language, and we can use in a better way without having to mix with other language. As a precaution, use it more.
Practice to always like say the word.
If you don't use it, one after another, the vocab will be gone. I shall admit that there are a lot of words that is gone. Sometimes it takes time to recall, what do you call this thing in my language?
If our community doesn't focus and take charge on it, there's no point.
We are not from Thailand. Like this is what the other communities don't know.
What's belong to us, we always have to keep it. We always have to practice it.
There should be a recognition from like the national side and of course like internationally as well.
It's part of us.